Okay, so this is going to be a training video of how to use the 3-channel med system infusion pump that we carry on all our trucks. This is a 3-channel pump. Can obviously pass 3 medications. We're going to start out talking about how to prime the drip sets that we have. This happens to be a full set. Half sets go the same way. They're just inserted at the end of an existing drip set that you may find at the hospital. So a couple of things I've learned over the years with these cartridges is they tend to collect air right here in the pump chamber on the side. So what I'm going to do, rather than fill this in the normal way they go into the pump in this configuration, if you fill them like that, they tend to trap air in the top. So we're going to invert it and then open the roller clamp, and we'll see some air coming down, and you can actually see it accumulate in that pump chamber. Sometimes just tapping it, even tapping it on a table or tapping it with handles on a trauma shears or something, will help to get air out of there. We just want to make sure that this chamber is clear here. We don't see any air at the top of it, and this looks like we've taken care of it all here. So I'm just going to clamp this off and put this aside, and when we get the pump programmed, we'll go over inserting the cartridge. So I'm just going to set this down. Pump operates really very simply. There is a set of buttons across the top and a set of soft keys across the bottom, and of course our 3 detail buttons for each channel. So we'll turn the pump on. It goes through a quick self-test, and then we see what's called the standard display, which will display information for any of the 3 channels. All 3 will show up if they've been programmed. So we're going to program channel A for a standard milliliter per hour infusion, which we would use for like a normal saline, lactated ringers, or perhaps an antibiotic. So if we press the A button, you see the details of this infusion show up. So the first entry is the primary rate, or the infusion rate. We can change any of these settings by using the arrow keys here. So if I wanted to change this from 150 up to 200, I could sit and click here forever and go up 1 milliliter at a time, or use the fast button over on the right, and whatever direction you've been going, it will go there. So we're way up to 300 now. We really want this infusion at 150 for normal hydration. So again, now this will change to fast down and go down in big increments. We'll take it back to 150, press the enter button. Now it shows 500 milliliter volume remaining. That is also adjustable by the up and down keys. Fast mode works in here as well, and that's the volume that you want to infuse. So we're just going to leave it at a 500 milliliter bolus. Pump shows us that's going to take about 3 hours and 20 minutes. Our volume infused is 0 because we haven't started yet. So we're just going to go right down, back to the start of the menu, and back to the standard display. And this is all configured to deliver, say, normal saline at 150 milliliters per hour. So we also use the calculation mode, which I'll show you now in channel B. And we access calculation mode, this is again the standard mode, by hitting more options, button name more options, and then you'll see calc on appear right above the right hand soft key. We press that, and now we see this screen change with a lot more options to set. First thing it says is drug question mark, and what that allows us to do is to go into a library of medicines that we have pre-programmed in the pump. So if we scroll down here, we're starting at the A, we'll go down to something that's pretty familiar, dopamine. We'll just select that. And so now it asks for patient weight because this is a weight-based drug, and that's been programmed into the pump, and we know that. So we hit any arrow button, comes up and defaults to 70. We want to go up pretty fast from there. We have say we have a 90 kilogram patient. So we go ahead and select 90, and we're done with that. So we move on now to the concentration of our medicine. Now, because this is pre-programmed, it goes, when you hit any arrow key, it'll start at 400, which is a standard concentration, 400 milligrams, and that is in 250 milliliters. So again, if we touch an arrow key, we have that programmed in. If you do have a different concentration, which is pretty uncommon with dopamine, you can adjust it here. We hit the enter key, and now we get to our dosage. And our prescribed dosage for this patient is going to be 7.2 micrograms per kilogram per minute. So we want to go to the up key, and we hit that first, and it starts way down at 0.2. So we need to go up pretty quick. And so we'll use this fast key to go up, and we're at 7.5 now. We want to go down just a couple to 7.2, and that's correct. So we go through and press enter to log that in, and that shows us an infusion rate of 24.3 milliliters per hour. Volume infused is 250. We're starting with a fresh bag, and volume infused is 0. And the last one is dosage infused, which is 0 as well, because we have not yet infused any drug. So just to recap and recheck what you should do before you start any medicated drip, we do have dopamine, patient weight is 90, concentration 400 milligrams in 250 milliliters, dosage is 7.2 micrograms per kilogram per minute, mill rate is listed, volume remaining is 250, a new bag. So volume infused is 0, dosage infused is 0. So we're all ready to go. Now all we'd have to do is hit select one more time, and then go back to the standard display, and you'll see it show the milliliter per hour rate, and then our dosage 7.2 micrograms per kilogram per minute of dopamine. So that's the second way that we can program in with a drug that's known to us and is in the library. We're just going to go back to channel B, and I'll show you the third option. If we have a drug that is not in the library, there is a way to program all of the data in, and this is fairly common. We may be picking up a patient that is on a medicine that we don't normally have. So we're going to scroll back up, and what I'm looking to find is that first one where it says drug question mark. We just leave that alone, and the whole screen changes and now lets us fill all the parameters. So again, we're going to have that 90 kilogram patient. So we'll scroll up to 90, select enter. Our concentration, we're gonna use vasopressin, which we run into quite a bit here. It is not in the library. So our concentration on that is going to be 50 units in 250 milliliters. So we're going to go up, again, use that fast key to save time, and go all the way up to 50. And now this is in units, so we need to change that. So use an arrow key there, that we have units. And this is just going to be in 250, so we're going to go here. And again, that fast key is going to be our friend. Take us up to 250. And now we have to set what our dosage is, or how we're going to infuse this drug. And the order on this patient is in units per hour. So first we want to change our measurement to units and select enter. And now this is not weight based, so we just want the slash mark there and hit enter. And this is supposed to be per hour, so we set it. And now it allows us to put in our dose, which again was going to be 2.1. So we can go up with the fast keys. We're going to end up at 2.5. So we'll toggle down to 2.1 and hit enter. So it again gives us our milliliters per hour. Our volume remaining is 250. Volume infused 0. Dosage infused 0. So go through and verify our drug again. It's drug question mark. We know it's vasopressin. Might want to even write that on the front of the case, or put a V on it as it's inserted. That way you can tell. Concentration is 50 units in 250 milliliters. Dosage 2.1 units per hour. Displays our mill rate at 10.5. Volume remaining 250, and 0 dose infused and 0 volume infused. So we're all set. We can go ahead and insert our pump cartridge. Okay, so we're back with a little better view of the pump cartridge area on the on the device. So to insert these, they go in at a slight angle. Push the white button, and now very important, we need to put the air sensor in place. It has to be snapped below. You push in, and when it makes that tone, that little beep beep beep, that means that the air sensor is in place. So now you can see that start affects channel B is what it's telling you. So if you hit the start stop button on the top of the pump here, way up here, that turns the pump on, and you'll see it say infusing, and that takes us through and gets our infusion started. And that's all there is to programming and beginning in all three modes on this pump.